Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's Get in Tune. I'm Michael Gracia, and uh, boy, I got a really fun show tonight. Not only do I have a returning guest, but he is a friend and fellow cartoonist, and every week makes me laugh with his comic strip, Sour Grapes. Now, I was looking through this is his first book, I believe, and I've been looking through this throughout the day on some downtime, and I was cracking up. He has got some great stuff in here. He's got a new book out tonight. I don't even know what number book this is from, but let's bring him on. Let's bring on Tim Jones and let's talk Sour Grapes. Hey,
Hi.
how you doing?
All right. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
I
Thanks for
made it.
asking. Yes, yes, I am happy to have you on tonight. And you know, I'm sorry if I look down. I'm looking at my Cintiq, which has your Instagram up and a couple of your comics I was looking through.
Oh, I
Uh,
always look down. So
but yeah, no, I mean, first off, again, thank you for being on tonight. I always enjoy chatting with you.
yeah.
Um, yeah, and I gotta say, I mean, Sour Grapes started in 2017, correct? That's why your screen name,
No, it started in 2014, which is the
2014.
the date of that book you showed.
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't even look at the
that
date
was a
on here.
long time ago.
Uh,
Yes.
For um, those who don't know your strip, can you tell us a little bit about it and some of the characters that appear?
Oh, sure. So Sour Grapes, it's about Aesop. He's a miserable flying dog. There he is. Doesn't look very miserable right there, but that was a long time ago. And miserable flying dog and his pet Cloud Ominous, and their adopted family, and they live in this world of problems and misfortunes and stuff like that. And Aesop's there to help them along in his miserable way. And so I just try and poke fun at the everybody's sour grapes everybody has in their life. So that's it in a nutshell, anyways.
Oh, well, it's fantastic. I've actually talked to quite a few people. People ask me all the time about my guests. They sometimes they write me, sometimes they see me at shows, sometimes online, just whatever. And almost everybody I talk to follows your strip and or does after I talk to them. You know,
Wow.
it is a very beloved strip. I just want to say not just between my friends, but past shows that I've had you on, um, and friends of mine. They're like, first of all, they find you to be incredibly funny just on screen here, but they love your writing, and then they share it with other people. It is
Oh,
just a
wow.
really good. It is a really good strip. I love that you keep it to the three panel layout, um, and it just works very well. Um,
Oh, thank you very
yeah,
much.
for it there, yeah, and yeah, I actually had someone reach out to me today saying they can't wait to watch tonight's show, and I told him Tim is a great guy, great cartoonist. If you don't follow his strip, here is the link to his Instagram strip, and he's like, I've been following it for a while, so
Oh, wow. Okay.
so yeah,
That's
um,
awesome.
yeah, you got good stuff here. Um, so as I flipped through this book, because I believe I have maybe one other or two other books of yours. I feel they're in a different format, like more of a standard, like 6 by 9
Yeah,
or something.
the one that you have is miserably cloudy and cold.
I believe so. I just don't remember where I put it right now. It's in the studio. Listen, dude, I have so many shelves of
Yeah.
books, just like piles and things, and I just don't know where those are. Otherwise, I chose. But
I don't know where I put it either, so it's not.
and we'll talk about your new book in a little bit. But
Yeah.
as I was reading this, and I started like really thinking about your strip today. Um,
Yeah.
and in a different way than I have. Like I look forward to when you post. I enjoy it. It makes me laugh, like I said. But I really started like studying your characters, and
Okay.
I wanna talk about some of the characters. Like, okay, so uh uh Aesop is first of
Yep.
all miserable guy. Uh, I love the character. I think his introduction script might be one of the greatest introductions to a character. I've yeah,
All right.
I actually had to stop at
You're
how
gonna
hard
have
I
to show me now because I don't know which one that is.
laughed. Just to give you, I'm sorry, I gotta take my glasses. It says, uh, "Okay, I admit it. I don't have a sense of humor. I don't laugh or even giggle. I can't stand jokes, and it hurts to smile. I'm miserable. I'm funny like that." You know,
Ah,
it's just I laugh so hard. Now, when you were creating Aesop and just sour grapes in general, and as you mentioned it, so you were looking at the life of sour grapes. What made you say, I want to look at like, you know, the sour part of life, and why create a character who is miserable instead of someone who might be happy and having miserable stuff happen to them?
I wanted to I wanted to dive into and explore a character that was more on the miserable side of life, or
Mhm.
the downtrodden down side of life. Well, there's a big word for me. And and kind of go along with that. I think you know there's a lot of there's a lot of comic strips out there that are you know happy type of characters and stuff, and I didn't see a lot of the other side of the coin, as it were.
Mhm.
Um, and so um, I just wanted to Aesop. When I came up with Aesop, I just looked at him and I just said, "Geez, this guy's miserable," you know. And I mean, just in the way that I drew him with the one eye, he's got one eyelid going across. I don't know if anybody
Yeah.
ever noticed that, but it's just one, just to be different. And I was actually too lazy to draw two eyes. So and I just kind of looked at him, and that's actually the look that my younger brother gives me when I used to annoy him. He would just kind of do it, you know, shut his eyes halfway. So that's kind of where I got that from. Um, and I just it was I wanted to write um, the joke to that. It seems more um, challenging to write to
Mm.
that opposed to someone that's happy, or that type of thing. Someone who's a smart ass, which is what Aesop is too, um, because he's easily annoyed,
Yeah.
which is me. So,
So
but
you're Aesop.
right, well, a lot of people say that. That's fine. I wear the T-shirt, so, um, but I throw humor in it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of this big conglomeration of all of that. Um, I just now, um, as soon as I named it Sour Grapes, I knew how to write for it.
Mm.
It was just everything that was under that umbrella of Sour Grapes. That term is pulled, is actually in an Aesop's fable,
Mm.
The Fox and the Grapes.
Which I believe
Um,
you mentioned in the book. I believe you
right.
mentioned it. Yeah.
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 Yeah. So, but that just kind of happened by chance. I didn't
Mhm.
know. that that's what Sour Grapes was. I just kind of um, came up with that title because it was a title, a phrase that or a term that always had in my head for the longest time.
Mm.
Um, someone told I was complaining one time. What a surprise! And uh, I think I was 30,
Mm.
and the person said to me, "You know, sour grapes doesn't suit you very well," and that just stuck in my head for the longest time. And then when I came out with this, I said, "You know what? That sounds like a cool title," and the rest is history. So
So so let me ask you, was Aesop named first, or did you realize, hey, it comes from Aesop's fables, we're going to just name him Aesop?
no, I named him Aesop a long time before I even came up with sour grapes.
Okay.
Um, I don't know where the name came from. I think initially I I knew that Aesop Aesop's fables were stories, or fables,
Mm.
and so I thought I'm telling a story with my comic strip.
Yeah.
So then I thought, well, I'll call him Aesop, and so there it is.
Yeah. So first, just want to say hi to Dylan in the audience. Dylan, thanks for tuning in. Um, and before I get into the other, like, other characters like Maddie and Slice and what's Constance. I'm just looking at their names so I didn't forget.
Mm.
Ominous, his pet Cloud. Was that something you came up with at the beginning, or was that after you did a few strips? You're like, hey, this would be an interesting idea for him.
Well, you might see it in that book there,
Mm-hmm.
but I always used to draw Aesop with a cloud in the background. Well, not all the time, but often.
Mm-hmm.
There'd be a cloud in the background that would kind of follow him around, and that kind of harkens back to Winnie the Pooh with Eeyore. Sometimes you might see a picture with Eeyore with a dark rain cloud over him because
Yeah.
he's so depressed and ugh.
Yeah.
So I kind of got the idea of that because Aesop was miserable all the time. So, but I never really made it a character. It was just kind of like this thing in the background and whatever. And one day, I wanted to have another character in the strip because I was getting rid of another one. And I thought, well, what about that damn cloud? And so I started even thinking even further, and I said, well, wouldn't it be fun if a dog had his own pet?
Mm-hmm.
And at first I thought a pet rock, and I was like, well, that's been done. And so I just thought I'd think out of the box, and uh, I put a collar on him and a leash, and there he was. There was Aesop that had a pet cloud.
That
And the pet cloud is a smart aleck kind of too smart kind of cloud
yeah.
that kind of goes along and has somewhat human um, experiences and thoughts and so on and so forth. So,
Yeah, no, I just thought it was a great idea, a great concept. I'm like, that's something
no,
I've never
thanks.
seen, and like I said, as a reader, I'm like, oh, where did he from? Like trying to explore, the early stages. Obviously, since that was the only book I had today to really go through. I was like, and by the way, Dylan's asked, what strip do you do? It's called Sour Grapes. This is one of the books. In a little bit, we're going to talk about his new book. Um, but Sour Grapes, if you're on Instagram, you can read at Sour Grapes 2017. And while I'm mentioning that, is there any other place we can find Sour Grapes?
You can go on the website sourgrapescomic.com,
Okay,
and
Sour Grapes.
I update that. Well, my guy updates that, and um, I'll shout out Andrew Lavolo, you rock. Um, and I'm trying to think where else you can see it. Newspapers, if you happen to see it in the newspapers.
You're in how many newspapers now?
Last time I looked, it was around 40, 42,
Okay,
something
very
like
cool.
that. Yeah, all
Very cool.
self-syndicated.
I was
So
gonna say, yeah, congrats on that. That is a
thanks.
very difficult thing to do.
You
Um,
ain't kidding.
Man, you should teach a class on it. Set up a Gumroad video and how you went about self
Yeah,
syndicating
my
and
opening three words would be "stay in school."
so. All right, so let's get into some of your other characters. So, the first character outside of these is in the book is Maddie, and that's why I'm just gonna go as the book goes. So we'll talk about
Yep.
Maddie first. Tell us about Maddie and his, I guess, his relationship to to Aesop and the other characters. How do they
Well,
go together?
Maddie in himself is a not so bright scientist.
Mhm.
Okay, he has trouble with women and dating and stuff like that. He's a typical nerd. I created him as my inner nerd put on paper,
Yeah.
and he wanted to have a pet one day, and kind of came across Aesop. Uh, don't know, didn't really write that to how they came together because I didn't really think it mattered anyways. But um, so they kind of became, friends. Um, and Maddie thinks that Aesop's his pet, but he's not, and Aesop doesn't think so, and that's how that kind of started out, anyways, way back then,
Hmm.
um, with what you have. But now it's just they're together and uh, share the same space. They all live in the same house now.
Yeah.
Um, and that type of thing. They've become a dysfunctional kind of family. Um, so um, that's about it.
Okay, I just want to say hi to Mike Wilkie in the audience. Hi, Mike. He says
I
hi to
might.
both of us there. All right. All right. So that's Maddie. The next in the book was Slice. Tell us about Slice.
Slice used to be in the strip. I took him out about a year ago. Slice was just the opposite of what Sour Grapes was. So he was um, overpoweringly, um, annoyingly positive.
Hmm.
So everything was always, wanted to give everybody a hug. Don't worry, things are going to be okay. Like I named him Slice because he's like the slice of life and
Hmm.
that type of thing. Um, but I pulled him out because I didn't want to have um, to some advice from someone. Um, I didn't really want to have animals and humans in a strip. It kind of got, is this a strip about animals with humans, or humans that has some animals in it, or whatever? Not that there's a difference between that. Now that I'm thinking about that out loud, now that I've said that out loud, there's not much of a difference. But um, so I wanted to make Aesop the animal per se in the comic strip,
Hmm.
um, and kind of just leave it that way. He kind of stands out more,
Hmm.
being the different character than the others.
Ha-
So that's my
ha-
intelligent answer, anyways.
have you thought of bringing in a human character to replace him?
I did. I did. I brought in Stuart.
Stuart. Okay.
See, Constance, who
Who
will.
we're going to get to next. Yeah.
So let's talk about Constance, and then we'll talk about
Okay.
Stuart.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, so my turn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your turn,
For
Constance. Tell us about Constance.
Oh my god. So Constance is Maddie's little sister, and Maddie kind of takes care of Constance. She's 16 years old. She's your typical, teenager, arms folded all the time, just angry at the world, thinks the world revolves around her.
Mhm.
She always deserves better. And so they've kind of got a relationship where it's just um, it's Maddie and Constance that are the the stronghold of the family. They, there's no parents.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like iCarly, where the older brother takes care of Carly,
Yeah.
and the parents are off screen per se.
Yeah.
I didn't want to have another. Not that there's anything wrong with them, but another family strip. Where
Yeah.
there's a father, a mother, brother, sister kind of thing. So
Yeah.
I just left it as those two. Maddie's an adult um, type of guy, older brother type of thing, and um, so that's kind of where I went with that.
Okay. And now you brought Stewart in to replace Slice.
So
Explain Stewart.
so Stuart is Constance's boyfriend,
Mhm.
and before I had Stuart, I would have strips that Constance would always talk about her boyfriend per se, and my boyfriend did this, my boyfriend said that, and so on and so forth, and she would complain about him a lot. And so when I wasn't using Slice anymore, I wanted to replace that. So I thought, well, let's bring Constance's boyfriend in finally, and he came along as just a kind of a millennial type of guy that's just kind of along for the ride. It's almost like Constance settled for this guy. He's shorter than her. He is, which drives her crazy, and he just kind of. I'm still building the character, but he's basically a millennial. I'm just kind of here for he's over all the time. He doesn't live there. He's just over the house all the time. He's always around.
Yeah.
So he kind of uh, is a little annoying to her, but she kind of puts up with him anyways because she really loves him, but she will never admit it. So that's kind of that dynamic right there. So he hasn't been around for too long, and I've had him maybe in about a half a dozen strips. I'm trying to um, in this past month he's been in a couple of the strips, so I'm trying to bring him in slowly into more. It's a weekly strip, so it's
Yeah.
tough to show more of him
Yeah.
in that. So
When I'm looking down, obviously, I'm not ignoring you. I'm looking at the strips right now, and I see over the last what one, so not the one you put out this week, but last week's strip had him. 2 weeks ago had it. 3 weeks ago had him. So he's coming around,
yeah,
and I love his design, by the way. Uh, you have really fun designs, and I know. Listen,
no thanks.
we're going to get to your book in a moment because I know you're on limited time today. So this isn't going to be my normal shows that go an hour and a half, or even longer. We're keeping it on deadline tonight. Um,
We're doing fine.
but
Okay.
I gotta say I love the designs of your characters. Where are you? Or I don't want to say where are you. I don't want to make it sound like you're stealing these designs. But um, can you tell me some of your comic inspirations that influence your style? Not like
Oh,
writing style, but drawing style. Where are you pulling your style from on this?
well, Garfield,
Hmm.
big time. But it's not. I'm not as refined. I'm gonna go on the record right now and say I'm not the best artist in the world. Um, so I really have to work at it. The finished product is what it's all about. But
Well,
um,
I'm going to tell you, I think you're great. So
oh, thank you. Um, but uh, Johnny Hart, BC, and Wizard of
mhm,
ID,
mhm.
huge influence on me because you look at that stuff, um, and it's so simple. It's so there's not a lot of detail. There's not. It looks like it's quickly drawn. It's there's expression there, but it's just there's not. it doesn't look, and I don't mean this as an insult. It just doesn't look like he spent a lot of time drawing that stuff, and the writing carries those strips a lot.
Oh, absolutely.
And
Yeah.
and the ideas and the characters, it all comes together for me. So and I it's just what I've um, come to come for my style. I don't really think of myself as having a style. It just comes across as just the way I draw.
Mhm.
It's very simple, and I say I'm the slowest artist in the world, which is true, but I actually draw those things kind of quickly.
Mhm.
I don't spend a lot of time on you know
Yeah. I mean,
details.
you know, it's just interesting because as an artist and someone who has taught before, I don't tell people try to develop a style. I say just learn and a style
Mm,
will come. But I like to, when I look at people's work, I like to see where their influences are at, and it's interesting because when you're saying, you know, it's just kind of this simple drawing in a way, I go, but that's what to me makes a great character, the simplicity, and that's what makes a great like strip, something that if you're gonna have to draw this character over and over. I know when I draw the Wiz, there are times I look at him and I'm like, wow, he's off model, but he looks enough like the Wiz, or he's believable. Like sometimes I'll thin out his beard a little more than I should,
yeah,
and I've done that many times, and sometimes I just have to be like, you know what, I gotta just let it go and go out because I got to get it done. Other
yeah,
times it's like I'll go in and fix stuff. Your stuff, and not that the Wiz is a complicated looking character. It's just sometimes when I'm moving, because when I draw, I'll tell you this, I'll loosely pencil, and I actually go digitally with my inks,
yep,
and I draw while I'm inking. So
yep,
I'm constantly changing stuff, and it's like, well, I got it good enough.
yep.
But your stuff always looks the same, strip to strip. There's no off model characters, and that's one of the reasons like I love looking at what you're doing.
Well, when I've talked to, it's funny you said that before. I had that same thought as I've taught classes or spoke to schools and stuff in the past, and I've always told them, if you're gonna have a strip or even a comic book, um, you're gonna be drawing these characters a lot, consistently. So give yourself a character that with your own speed and your own ability, um, that you're going to be able to draw often and not have to, spend an enormous amount of time, drawing that first panel because he's so difficult to draw. So, I mean, if you're going to draw Prince Valiant, that guy for a comic strip, these guys that are with, major syndicates have to pump out 6 dailies and a Sunday every week, and they have to write months ahead of time.
Yeah.
That's a lot of drawing for one character. So you know, try and keep it as simple as you can. Now, if you have the ability to do something more detailed, and that's one thing. But for me, um, now when I draw Aesop, it takes me seconds to draw him
Hmm.
because I've figured out how to build them and the other characters as well.
Yeah.
So it's just, yeah, I'm glad you said that, because it can become difficult, so keep it simple.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm actually thinking of redesigning a couple of characters for the Wiz.
Mm,
Have them go. It is a strip with magic that can happen. So characters could change
that's right.
at any
That's
time.
right.
Uh, but okay, you know what? Let's talk about your new book. Do you have a copy in front of you? You can
I
hold
have a
up the.
I have a copy beside me.
Oh, okay.
right here. Oh,
Right
here we go with the backwards stuff. Drives me
so
crazy.
doggone miserable.
So doggone miserable. Yeah. Um, Aesop is. I was just gonna mention development
Mhm.
over
Go
time
for
with
it.
this strip because
Yeah.
strips are always developing, but
Yeah.
and even still to this day, my strip is slowly still developing. I did a soft reboot this year,
Mhm.
um, drawing Aesop a little differently. My writing's really honed in onto what the last year and this year the writing is really honed into what I want it to be. So, um, but this is the latest compilation, and it's in vertical form as opposed to this way, which is the rest, not the book before that, the one that you have, but all the other books like you have there.
Mhm.
Because I kind of like this better. But what we did just to annoy people is the book is like this. um, and then we did this. So you have to hold it like a calendar. So it could make people work to read my stuff. And so we put the strip down here, and this is what I call a ghost panel.
Mhm.
Sometimes a showcase panel, but mostly a ghost panel. And so we took those and took them out and put them up here randomly around the book, which is kind of neat. We blew them up, and they kind of surprisingly stand on their own a little bit.
Yeah, I like
But
it.
I love the way they look. See, there's Constance having a fit, um, and uh, and then you have the regular strip down there, and then the big reveal. Hold on, this is damn it.
What's that
Hold
say?
on, there it is.
Exclusive
Ex-
preview art.
Exclusive preview art. So this is a comic book that I'm
Mhm.
very slowly working on.
Mhm.
I'm still back here, by the way.
Yeah.
And so there's Aesop punching an evil scientist with ominous in the background, and the storyline is ominous gets kidnapped by the evil scientist. The evil scientist wants to steal his thunder, and there's the joke. So, and he's going to use that to power his weapon that's going to take over the world. So, um, Aesop finds some clues and goes along and um, finds Ominous being held captive and frees him and beats the shit out of the guy. So um, it's a fun thing. I took them out. Oh, by the way, this is done. If you see down there, it says Rich um, uh, Maurizio
Mhm.
um, is a friend of mine. He's an amazing artist, and he inked this.
Yeah, he's a
So
very
he's
talented artist and someone I've been trying to get on the show at some point.
yeah, you got to.
Yeah.
Um, he's got an amazing career and history and stuff like that. Um, so he's going to be working on this book with me, and so I'm pretty excited about it. But again, I'm slow, and life and his, he's got his own life and stuff. So we'll get it done. But I want it to be good. It's going to be a short story. It's not going to be like a full comic. Um, because I'd like it to happen. Get it out early next year or something.
How many
Um,
pages are you looking at for the
I mean, it might be maybe 8 pages,
Okay.
and then we'll throw in some strips and maybe some art in there between the two of us, and it's going to be you know a Tim and a Rich book. So I'm happy. I'm pretty excited about it to bring Aesop out of the strip. Um,
That's nice.
it's still Aesop, still ominous from the strip, but they just kind of on their own adventure.
No,
So we'll see how that
that's
goes.
great.
Yeah.
I love the concept very
Thank
much.
you.
It sounds like a lot of fun. Now, the new book, so doggone miserable.
Mm.
Where can people get that if they are not seeing
Well,
you at shows?
well, right now, they can message me and I'll send you one
Hmm.
signed. It is on Amazon. I don't make any money off of Amazon, so I'd rather you didn't. But um, you can. But I just did Rhode Island Comic Con, which was crazy good this past weekend, and I had it with me there. I'm going to be doing Kids Con in Portland, Maine, at the DoubleTree Hotel, Hilton DoubleTree, yeah, the Hilton DoubleTree in Portland, Maine, um, this Saturday, and I'll have it there to uh, be there with some other great artists, and it's a lot of fun, especially for the kids. Emily Druin, she just such a wonderful job with these. She has two kids cons a year. One's in Maine and one's in Concord, New Hampshire, in May, and it's just amazing. It's a day full of activities for the kids and art and all kinds of things going on. There's drawing classes. Some of the guys I'll be with that I was with this past weekend from National Cartoon Society, and so we're going to be there. Some other people are going to be there. I think one of them might have been on your show, or a few of them have been on your show.
I've actually I reached out to a bunch. By the way, Emily has been on my show. I don't remember what year,
Oh,
but
okay.
I've had her as a guest.
Have you had Charles Brubaker?
No, but I don't know if I've
I,
reached out to him yet. But I follow his work
yeah,
and would love to get him on one day.
yeah. He lives down south, so I'm not. That's a long walk. So I'm happy he's going to come up. I know who he is. So there's a bunch of us. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So
No, that's great. I mean,
so I'll have my book there. Is what I'm getting at.
yeah.
And then after that, I'm doing CT Collecticon in Norwich, Connecticut on December 2nd. I'll have it there.
Where Norway? Oh,
Norwich,
Norwich,
Connecticut.
Connecticut. Okay.
Yeah,
I don't think that's too far from me. I gotta go check that out.
it's a 10 to 3 show. Chris Hebert is the promoter. CH Collectibles. He has a store, and that's a lot of fun too. Um, so I'll have it there.
Is it a
And
store show? Like you having people at the
no,
store? Or is he having?
this is at a hotel.
Okay.
In Norwich. It's right off of 395, literally right off. Um, it's like this the Christmas show. So if you go on Facebook and you look at, or even Google CT Collecticon, you'll find it.
Okay.
So and then that'll be it for me for the year. But well, there might be a couple things if they come up, but I doubt it. But again, you can DM me, as the kids say, and I'll be happy to send you one.
Well, that sounds great. So like I said, I'm going to keep you on track today with your time. So we're going to wrap up. But before I let you go, I want to first say thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm always happy to
Yeah.
see you.
Oh, same here. Listen, if you lived closer, we'd be hanging out a little bit more. You know, it's and what was I going? Oh, your book. I just wanted to reiterate, you can get it on Amazon, but it's better to DM you and get it through you. So everybody
Yeah,
watching, make sure you reach out to Tim on
because
on.
I'll sign it. You get a signed copy. Not that anybody gives a shit, but you can get it signed, and you know, I'll send it to you. You know, um, what was I gonna say? Yeah, that's probably the
That's
that's probably the best way to do it. I don't know. Um,
absolutely. But
But
actually, no, go see him at a show. Go meet this guy is great. And you know what he does at shows that I really enjoy?
I
He'll
do a
draw.
puppet show. Go.
Do you know?
No,
Uh, that would be new. I'd love to see. I'd love to see a Aesop puppet. You know,
I
you
would
talk.
too. I'm
Uh,
gonna look into making a Funko Pop of them. I
go
want a
for it. I would
Funko Pop. If anybody out there knows how to make a Funko
a
Pop
custom pop.
for Aesop, let me know. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
No, 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 it's okay. No, what I love is that you'll do like any character, like you draw classic characters for people at shows live,
Oh,
and I love looking at that work. You did one from I when I saw you, what was the show I saw you at last? It was in
Rhode Island.
Jersey,
Oh,
uh,
oh. New
Contropolis.
Contropolis, New Jersey.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
was a
yeah.
lot of fun.
That was a
Mike
good show.
comes to my table and sits down, and suddenly I'm busy. I love it. It's
Oh,
like, what am I?
I sold
What am
like
I
one or
doing
two.
wrong?
I sold a couple of your books for you, man. It
You
was
did. Oh, I thought somebody stole them. But
anyway.
it was like,
Yeah,
um, yeah, I did. I love doing. I have this sign that says, "I'll draw your favorite cartoon character,"
yeah,
because everybody else draws these elaborate drawings of Spider-Man and Batman and Superman and any other kind of man. And I don't do anatomically correct characters. It's just not what I do. It's not my
yeah.
language.
Mm.
Um, and so I like drawing the Hanna-Barbera stuff and just simple cartoon stuff that I can pump out. Like this, like at Rhode Island Comic Con, I drew a Bluey for
Mm.
somebody and stuff. So um, yeah, I love doing that. Captain Caveman is my favorite.
Yeah, that was a good. I
I
saw you.
I have like a few of those. I can
Yeah.
really pump him out, and I was like, and I get people. Did you create Captain Caveman? And they actually sound like that. And I'm like, well, no, I didn't. But sometimes they take off when they find out I'm nobody. But
One day I got to get a character from you. I'm a big, I'm a big Hanna Barbera fan.
yeah.
I would just have to decide.
Well, who's your favorite?
You know what? I will say the McGilla Gorilla show was my favorite show.
I drew
So
him this
I don't
weekend.
McGilla Gorilla and Ricochet Rabbit. Ricochet was one of the characters on the show.
Yeah.
On the so I never know. I kind of toss up between those two as my
Hmm.
favorite character.
I drew my first McGilla Gorilla this past weekend, and I have a drawing of Ricochet Rabbit, as a matter of fact. So
Oh, that's cool.
yeah,
I don't know if I
yeah.
saw that when it was. Did you? I don't know if you had it on Contropolis. I flipped through
It
it
was
quick.
in my book.
Okay, I'll have to look again
Thanks for
next time.
looking. Yeah.
All right,
Say,
man. You
Mike, look at all this stuff I drew. It's fine, Tim.
listen. As I've
Where's the
mentioned to you,
bathroom?
the last time I spoke to you at the show,
Yeah.
and we're ending it right after this. I told
Okay.
you I'm going to be redoing my back wall. You gave me a couple of prints. I'm by the new year, this wall will be changed, and you will have something on the back wall every show. One of your pieces will be showing. All
Oh,
right,
that's
man.
awesome.
I am thrilled to be. I'm really going to do it up with indie art and comic art, like comic strip stuff,
Yeah.
because I have some really cool comic strip work done, and I got a few friends of mine. Some people have been on the show. Send me high res digital prints of their work that I'll go get printed up nicely in frame as well. So yeah, you're going to be a regular on the show even when you're not on the show, man.
Uh, that's awesome. I'm a
Uh,
regular guy, like every day.
yes.
It comes out whether I like it or not, so it's fine.
All right. Well, I again let me wrap up. I'll drop you backstage. Just hang out for a minute. But
All
again,
right.
thank you for coming on,
Oh,
and I'll
anytime.
talk to you in a minute.
All right. I
All right.
appreciate it. Bye.
Bye. All right, guys. So that was Tim. Sorry, it's a short episode. He was on a schedule today, but Tim and I could talk forever probably about this stuff. I want you guys um, to go and check out Tim's work if you've never seen it. Instagram, Sour Grapes 2017. You can find it on you find him on Facebook as well. Uh, wherever you can get it, and go buy his book. Either DM him if you're not local to shows by him, or go see him at a show. Go follow him. He's a great funny guy. And every week his strip makes me laugh. So with that, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for watching whenever you're watching, whether it's live or afterwards. Just thanks. And don't forget to check out The Wiz. I forgot to, where is it? Right there. I forgot to promote it today. Came out today. Every Wednesday morning, The Wiz comes out. You can follow that at The Wiz Comic on Instagram or Facebook. And with that, I'll see you guys next week. Oh, sorry, not just on Wednesday with a new guest, but I'm starting. I don't know if you saw this Monday. I'm doing live drawing every Monday night, 9 p.m. So you can find me Monday night, 9 p.m. doing live drawing on Facebook and YouTube and Twitch, just how you can find me now. And then Wednesday, I'll have a Get in Tune guest. So with that, I will see you guys later. You have a great rest of your night, day, whatever you're watching.